Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you're having a great day, and welcome to the Tundra Dude 34 YouTube channel. We are used to driving this beautiful 1794 TRD Off-Road 2024 model year, but today, ladies and gentlemen, we are making a return to the second generation 5.7 liter V8 Tundra. This is a 2019 Platinum. This is one of my neighbors up the street, Walt's truck. You guys know Walt from a few videos we've done. He's helped out with some dealership walks, and he is a great friend of the channel, so he has lent me this truck. Today we are going to do a first drive video with this magnetic gray 2019 Platinum. But before we drive this, I want to take this for a quick ride, get a few mental impressions before I jump into this 2019 Platinum. One thing you need to know for me, I've owned a lot of second gen Tundras, but I have not driven a second gen Tundra since I traded my TRD Pro Army Green from 2020. I traded that in late October 2022, so it's been about 2.5 years since I've driven this legendary platform and this legendary engine setup. So let's take the 2024 for a quick ride, and then we will come and see how it feels to go from the new technology back to the classic. All right, a quick ride in the 24 before we jump behind the wheel of the 2019 Platinum. I haven't even been in the truck yet. Walt brought it over last night and threw it in the driveway for me because I wanted my first time behind the wheel of a 5.7 V8 again to be on camera with you. So I'm very excited to give you guys the impressions, especially coming from this much seat time in new generation Tundras. I've been in 22s, 23s, 24s, but haven't been back to that 5.7 V8 second generation, so this is going to be a good one. I just want to get a baseline with the 2024, and then, we'll get in the truck and see what the real differences are in feel. The reason I'm doing this video, this is such a common question on the channel as far as which direction you should go as a consumer. Hold on one sec. Want to hear the turbos? Yep, sounds good, feels good. I always talk about how great the new generation drives and how it feels on the road as far as braking, turning, handling, power delivery, all of it. So I really want to see what it is like to get back into the naturally aspirated V8. But again, very popular, question and concern on the channel. Do I go new gen? Do I go old gen? This is what I do with my truck, that kind of stuff. Does the new gen have what it takes to do what I need it to do without potential problems? There's a lot of different questions. So we're going to go around the block real quick here, just get a feel for this once again, and then I'm going to hop right into that truck. And we're going to talk about all the pros, the cons. The video following this will be a walk around, which we will do the walk around on the 2019 Platinum and show you all the details of it. And there are certain aspects of that Platinum that I'm going to compare to this 1794 when it comes to features. For instance, the size of the back seat we're going to compare. We're going to compare the dash layouts, things like that, as technology stuff, and see what has really changed from 2019 to 2024, which this truck is. And we're also going to look at Walt's original window sticker, and we're going to compare it to the window sticker of this truck. Now, even though this is a 1794 and Walt is a Platinum, same thing this generation as last generation. Those two trims are sister trims. The only difference is the 1794 is Western theme, but as far as features and options and what's standard, it's all the same thing. So let's get this back to the driveway, and let's get out there in a 2019 Platinum. I gotta tell you, I'm very excited to get back behind the wheel of a 5.7 V8 and feel what it's like to drive in a Tundra that everybody says is one of the greatest trucks ever built. One of the last true great classic pickup trucks before all of the new generation of pickup trucks from all the brands came out. So let's get back to the driveway and get in Walt's 2019 Mag Gray Platinum. Okay, first two things we're learning about this 2019 Platinum Tundra. No keyless entry yet. That came in 2020 to Tundra, and we still have a key. The push-button start setup did not come to Tundra. until the 2020 model year, and that was available on SR5 Upgrade and Up. Lower end SR5 and SR still had the key all the way to the end of the second generation, but in 2019, we still have the key, and once again, no keyless entry. Okay, here we go. Our first drive in the 2019 Platinum. 66,438 miles on this vehicle. So Walt uses his truck for a lot of different things. A lot of time on the beach with it. He does a lot of fishing, surfing. He goes up to his lake house. So it spends a lot of time off the beaten path. So that's one thing to keep in mind with this truck. He has some modifications in here. To hear the sound of that 5.7 V8 again, I gotta be honest with you, I missed it. I missed that sound. I know we talk about, you know, with the new engine, it's a V6, it's a twin turbo. It's nothing too crazy, and it's very quiet. Even when you put exhaust on it and everything like that, this thing sounds like a beast when you start it up. So that's the first thing. Number two, even though I just told you guys about how this one does not have push button start, I got in the truck right after making that little part of the video and went to hit push button start. And then I went to go find the button that was, you know, turn off auto stop start. So, you know, when the truck shuts down at the traffic lights kind of thing. So that's not in here as well. One thing about this generation of Tundra, and this is a 2019, everything in here is so simplistic. The little bit I've driven, which you've seen, a block and a half, I could tell you two things I noticed right away. This truck feels much heavier, and the braking is completely different than the new generation. So when you take a turn like we just did in this truck, you feel all the weight move with you a lot differently than you would in a new generation Tundra. New generation Tundra is just, it's very light on its feet. One of the things when I first got in the new generation, I said, wow, this doesn't feel like what I'm used to. And that is why, my friends, I tell you guys over and over and over again, if you are a second gen Tundra owner and you are in the market for a 22 and up Tundra, you need to test drive the truck. Do not buy it sight unseen. That is good free advice for you, because one thing about this truck going into the third gen, they both say Tundra, but they are very different from each other, and I mean very different from each other. You are going from a classic pickup truck platform that feels more like it's from the early 2000s into something that is an iPad on wheels. Sensors everywhere, a lot going on. This is just still part of that simplistic Toyota Tundra we know and love. Now, this does have some upgrades on it. This is a Platinum. So this was, along with the 1794, the two highest trims as far as Tundra goes when it comes to luxury features. This does have blind spot monitoring. It does have parking sensors. It does have dual zone automatic climate control. We're in leather seats. They're covered, but we're in leather seats that are heated, ventilated, and memory for driver. In 2018, the Toyota Tundra got Toyota Safety Sense, a new gauge cluster. So, you know, there is some stuff in here that, as far as Tundra goes, it got some upgrades along the way. In 2018, also new grills, which was awesome because the Platinum, the grill that it got is way better than the grill that it had 14 to 17. It also got LED headlights and LED fog lights in 2018. So the truck has a good amount of technology without going too crazy. In 2020, they really started to add things. This is the last year, very important to me here. This is the last year of the CD player, ladies and gentlemen. This has JBL and it has a CD player. One of my videos, I plan to do an MPG run like we do with all the Tundras. I'm bringing my old school CD book that I still have of 500 CDs, and I'm gonna rock. And it's gonna be awesome. I missed the CD player. So once we're able to get out onto this road, we're gonna see how this 5.7 feels after driving all these 3.4 liter twin turbo V6s over the past 2.5 years. Of course, there's traffic as far as the eye could see. This road every day, no matter what time. So here we go, you ready? 5.7 V8, welcome back. Turn out here. Oh man. Woo. It's good to hear that again. It's good to hear that again. Very smooth. You could instantly feel the difference in the two trucks, especially. That's why I'm so glad I did that quick ride before I got into this truck, just to, you know, get a baseline on the new gen. In no way, shape, or form is the 5.7 liter V8 slow. That's not what we're talking about here. The power delivery is just extremely different when it comes to the two different platforms. This is a 6-speed transmission, 5.7 V8, and it gets up and goes, but it takes a little bit longer, but it feels amazing. I don't know. It has a lot of girth to it in that feeling of getting up to speed. I know it makes no sense. Just as somebody that, you know, has been in that 3.4 liter twin turbo V6 for so long, this comes with a lot of raw power and raw feeling of power. So not only, hold on, we won't even go too hard here. Let's just go easy. Nice sound. You probably won't be able to hear too much engine noise with my noise canceling mic, so I apologize for that. Oh man. Here's another fun fact about this particular Tundra, Walt's Tundra. This has the TRD dual exhaust on it from my 2017 Platinum Pro. I gave Walt this exhaust many years ago. So a little bit of Tundra Dude 34 history there. So this sounds so good. It drives well. The biggest difference is there's two things that are coming to mind with driving this down the road. A, it feels a lot heavier. I could feel the truck doing a lot more than the new gen as far as it's sensitive to wind. I could feel the imperfections in the road. But it feels like it's built solid. And that's the biggest difference. This feels like a truck. Hardcore. The brakes are a little sloppy. Kind of, you know, brake dive a little bit. Something to get used to. But this feels like a truck. And that is the biggest difference. Oh, I love the dual exhaust. The 5.7 V8 and the TRD dual exhaust are meant to be. There's a lot of exhaust you could get for second generation out there, but there's just something special about the sound that this exhaust gives. Tundra still had great side mirrors in last generation, gigantic, and these aren't even the tow mirrors, they're just good size mirrors here. Now, being this is Platinum and we were talking about luxury features, JBL, there's no pano in this generation. This one here has, you know, just a regular moonroof. And once you're behind the wheel of it for a little while, like we've gone around a few blocks, we're going down the main road here, and I feel right back at home into the second gen. Not slow by any means, just she's got a lot of meat to her. It's pretty funny. But man, I could see why people love the second generation Tundra. And a lot of people don't like the new generation from going from the second gen. And I remember when I got into my first new generation Tundra, I was like, oh my God, this is so different. And that's the biggest deal here. But a comfortable ride. I'm sure it'll, you know, eat through the fuel. The 5.7 V8 is not the most fuel efficient engine in the world. I always liked the 5.7 V8 and the 6-speed automatic transmission. I felt like they worked together well. I felt like they worked together even better in the 19 to 21 after the transmission cooler was taken out after 2018. Whatever they did to recalibrate made the truck feel, you know, a little bit more responsive on the road. So it really all comes down to this for you guys, the viewer. And the reason I did this. Number one, I will always say yes to driving a 5.7 V8 Tundra, the second generation. I'm in love with these trucks. I've owned quite a few of them. And, you know, I thank Walt for allowing me to drive around in this thing for a few days, which is neat. So that's number one. Number two, common question, few times a day, what do I do? You know, I want to get a Tundra. I don't know if I want to go use second gen because of the V8. I don't know if I want to go into technology of the new generation Tundra. The thing is, at the end of the day, that's all going to come down to your wants and needs, all right? So this 5.7 V8 has been in the Tundra since 2007 to 2021. That's a long history. It is a fairly simplistic engine as far as what is out there today. There is not twin turbo setup on this. It's naturally aspirated V8. It's basic, all right? This is the last Tundra before we got into these new generation of pickup trucks. And what I mean by that is, you know, with the emission standards of today and everybody coming away from the V8 into forced induction or hybrid or full electric, this was the last generation of simplicity. So do your research, know that going in, know that in the second generation Tundra, you still get plenty of options. There's still a lot of like luxury features in here, especially when you come up into something like a Platinum like this. But just know, in the new generation, of course, there's going to be a lot more technology and a lot more features. We'll talk about that when we do our walk around video, when we compare a couple things on the two trucks. But overall, I mean, the truck rides just fine. It definitely feels a lot heavier than the new generation Tundra. It feels like a beast. It sounds like a beast. You know why, ladies and gentlemen? It's a beast. It's simple. It only knows to do one thing, be a truck. And I really am going to enjoy the next few days. Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, TikTok at TundraDude34, TundraDude34@gmail.com. Once again, a thank you to Walt for letting me use his 2019 Platinum. And make sure you go down in the comments and ask any questions you have, either for me or Walt, because he'd be happy to answer them. And we're going to enjoy our time in the second generation. And then we're probably going to end up buying one, because that's usually what I do, right? So have a great day. Thank you for watching. I'm going to go enjoy this 5.7 V8.